Hello, and we welcome you to this edition of Guarding the Truth, brought to you by the Conquerors Bible Fellowship Church and sponsored by the Standard Bearers Foundation. Guarding the Truth is documented by Strive Media and produced by Strictly G Entertainment. I serve as your host, and our voice of wisdom is the senior pastor of Conquerors Bible Fellowship Church, Pastor Michael W. Boston, Sr.
Pastor Boston, is God angry with the world? What evidence do we see in present times? And what are the consequences?
The question, is God angry with the world? I think most people, when they think of God, they like to think of God in some type of grandfatherly, loving, forgiving figure, and they don't like to hear about the anger of God. They don't want to accept the fact that a loving God can be perfectly angry and not just angry. Let me address your question. God is not angry at the world. God is angry at the wickedness in the world. The truth is, God is angry, and he's angry with people who live wicked, ungodly lives in a wicked world. Let me make that very clear. He's not just angry at wickedness, because wickedness would not be in the world if it were not for people being wicked. So he's angry at people who live wicked, ungodly lives in the world. Yes, God is love, but without a proper understanding of God's hatred for sin and the penalty that it requires, then you can never ever fully accomplish his love and his forgiveness. I think the backdrop that makes God's love so powerful and so beautiful is also having the backdrop of his anger. Not just because he's angry, but because he's angry at the wickedness in the world. One of the things you got to understand about God's love, God's anger is not like our anger, if you will. God's anger is not like our anger. God's anger is just as perfect as his love. God is perfectly loving, and he's perfectly angry. God, when he's angry at something, he's angry at things that are an assault, that are affront against his holiness. When it speaks in Romans 1:18, it says, "For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness." So, again, he is angry with people who live wicked and ungodly lives in a wicked world. The wrath of God is not just loosely going around misdirected and anyone is experiencing. Only those who are engaging in wickedness, which is an assault against a holy God. What are the consequences in it? We see the consequences in people's lives, not living their full potential of their life, not experiencing the full destiny of their lives. We see in some cases when a person continues in their sin, the Bible speaks of what God will do. What did he do in Genesis chapter 5, where the world continued in sin? They had to deal with the judgment. The consequences of sin is the wrath of God. You can never evade the consequences. I say this in closing. You might get by, but you never get away.
Visit us online for more information at cbfc.org. Or you can visit Pastor Boston at his other social media destinations. Facebook, Conquerors Bible Fellowship Church. On Twitter, Pastor_Boston, or on Blogspot, MikeWBostonSR.blogspot.com. That's it for this edition of Guarding the Truth, where we're guarding the truth until God comes.